Okay, so I'm changing the bottom level quite a bit in this area. I am going to be cutting the bench work here, and then that way it works with the doorway. And not this side, but this side it was bumping when it was up before. I had taken this off to work on that area, so it kind of gives you the idea of how this is going to work. So instead of having the track curve in right away within this bench work here, I'm extending the bench work down, and then the track itself is actually going to go at a 2% grade in the very back, and on the curve I just keep it up at 2 inch. So starting here, there's going to be a gigantic bridge going over everything. I'll have fields. These are my IKEA mat fields, and I have to get probably a 30-degree crossover. This track is going to be CBQ interchange, and it's also going to go to the roundhouse and turntable. So this track, the single track, I'm calling that the branch line, and that is also going to have a spur to serve the coal power plant. And then I can have my station here, and I'm going to build another shelf just like these two, but I'll have that bottom track go into the wall and turn around inside what we call the train closet. It holds all my junk. It's not a closet because it doesn't have a door, but it'll be at this height here. There'll be another shelf with a loop, return loop, so that the train can go around the room. Now, further to that, I'm going to put some little metal L brackets, and I'm going to have this bridge go right against the wall and actually mount double track directly above. Obviously have enough clearance, and then if I want to, I can continue to go higher around the room. And definitely on this wall, because this is where Green River will be, where all this mess is, those tracks will all be hidden. Now when it gets to this side, it's going to come out again, but what I'm going to do is put backdrop where the legs are. So that leg, and obviously I can put in some more, will have a removable backdrop in front of it. So you won't see all the back tracks. You'll only see this track, and this bridge going into behind the backdrop. This track that's on the grade, this double track here, will be behind a backdrop. That will be removable with screws, and it'll come out of the backdrop here. So if I do, another idea is I can do the backdrop about halfway up, or just enough to cover the trains, paint it the same color so that when you're looking at it, it essentially masks it out. And then if a train gets derailed, I can just access it. But on the bottom, it'll have to be removable no matter what. So I'm just liking the relocation. This leg here used to be one continuous leg all the way up, so I cut it, relocated it to here. There was one right here. It's mounted to the wall, so I relocated it there. And I figure if I go back and forth with these, that I won't get any sag. I am going to use some big L brackets, and I have on the other side of the train room, I've put in a really good mount into the wall. So I have a laser level, and I use it all the time on a tripod, and then I can check exactly where it is. Because what happens is, the basement will move. So that's why everything has to be adjustable. Back a screw off, move the leg up and down. So as an example, this one moves a lot. I've got 2 screws there, and this leg can go up and down as the basement goes up and down, because I don't know if you know this, but your basement goes up and down. And that's mounted poorly on a block. So another thing I did so that I could do this is temporary because this wiring is not going to be like this, but I took some planter wire and I screwed it in and then made ties to just kind of get it out of my face so that I could work underneath. I don't want to hide it up in the bench work yet because I'm still doing a lot of plugging and playing the way that I do my scenery. So I did this whole wall with these wire ties. As you can see, I got a lot of junky wire everywhere, but all my wire is plug and play. And when I'm finding and want to find a problem, there's no soldering on the wire. All the feeders and everything plugs in. I use the Kato, and then it goes into the DCC system here, which is too small for this trackage, let alone the new track that I'll be adding. But gives you an idea. I think it'll be quite superb. And of course, going to have the scenery go at a cut, basically, so that a little hill. And I'll have my fields. I'll have to get more than 2. I just wanted to make sure that these would work, and they work good. And be putting the Union Pacific roundhouse here. And if you look at the top bench work on this side where Livingston is, it kind of makes sense where the layout goes around the doorway, so you don't hit it. This triangle will be cut and this leg will be relocated. I have to cut a special piece, and the same thing here, and then the fascia will hide that eventually, and fascia will be here as well. So I don't do my fascia until later to make sure that I'm happy, and that's why this stuff has to be temporary. Right now I kind of build at different stages. So another thing I had as a kind of an issue is the lake here. I have an air-conditioned basement. It's quite cool. It has not cured, and I mixed it what I thought is properly. So first I put fans on it, and that didn't make a difference, and my wife doesn't really want the AC off for too long, and it still doesn't get hot enough. So I got this little heater. It's running at 250 watts. Just put a piece of plastic so it doesn't wreck the scenery, and it is, lo and behold, it is changing color. It's actually getting clear. So I've got the fan over here blowing the heat back and forth. I got my own little weather zone over the lake, and once this is kind of cured up, then on this side I can reverse them. So I've got these fans. I think I mentioned in another video, but if you don't know, they're at Walmart. They're on clearance because it's not fan season. They run on USB, and they're great. They don't make a lot of noise, and they try everything out. And this is was fooling around. I got some little hands. I'm gonna have some polygamists in the back there and make a commune. And you can look up what Hollywoodland sign is. It'll be an interesting thing if you're not familiar. You're probably thinking, oh, it says Hollywood, not Hollywoodland. But if you look it up, you'll see I've got my plane crash, and this dried really nice while I was gone. I've got my octopus arm. Will be coming over, but this was coming up. I've got a bunch of waterproof caulking and that. I'm gluing this down, and I got the sand mixed. Never showed this before, so gives you an idea how that is. These are a couple of the boats that I picked up at the toy store. They're literally perfect, so I just put them there to remind myself. And I found this little tugboat kit. So this is going to be an expedition ship for they're looking for the treasure where that is. So it's that's what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. So we'll get that built, and that is going to go here. I'm going to have all kinds of little chains and rigging in my resin, and I'll show how I do that. You can only pour resin 1/4 inch at a time, so I want the chain to be coming through. This lake will be quite deep. And then we've got a little SEAL Team 6 kind of style raft, so I need to get some divers and different things. And basically you can cast or drop your animals and divers and boats and everything at different levels 1/4 inch at a time as you do your pour. So this will be completely clear block of water. It has to cover the pyramid, so it'll at least be 1.5 inches, give or take. So it's going to be a lot of resin, and I've been picking up different kinds of animals, and then depending on what underwater animals, depending on what the situation will be, I'll pick what will go. I've got squids, I've got more boats, I've got rubber ducks. This is my circus car that I've had before, and I had these trucks before. These are the circus flat cars. I figure this Dick Tracy car from the Micro Machines set is the boss's coupe, and we've got the clown fire chief cars, and everything's red for Ringling Brothers. Everything's got little beacons on it. These are some of the things they would use to set up their circus. These are the weathered hoppers I got. One of them isn't weathered. These ones are done quite nicely. These two guys I had before. These guys I had before. These speedboats, I've just fooling around on this gondola, so it's coming along pretty good. I picked up some more giant grasshopper and scorpion and baby scorpion and more transformers, and you know, this will be Armageddon here in Missoula. I figure with the Denny's, you know, some people just dining, not paying attention. They're building some new houses. Got our construction equipment there. And this is just to show you the field close up. And that's what it looks like. It's actually just a welcome mat from IKEA, and they're about $1, I believe. And then I've got a nice tractor. Donkey's taking a nap. These are what the planes look like. Those are pretty sharp. That's my little building for a military base that will go on the bottom level. So I've started to work on that. I'll work my way around, but start in this end, the same as last time, get this track figured out. And I will have to get another turntable because I stole the one that was down here for here, so need one more turntable. And this will be the Green Mountain scene, the Green Mountain River on this wall. So all right, that's most of what I can think of, and we'll talk to you soon.